Alright, so let's talk lift kit on your all-wheel drive Astro van. I'm getting a lot of questions. I get questions on the lift, how much lift, what size tires. I just did the rear leaf springs. I'm getting questions on that. I'm going to try to answer it all in a way that makes sense. Try to give you some good advice on it. Excuse me. So, let's see. I went to Journey's Off-Road because they make a good product, and I had the S10 transfer case done and the 5-inch lift, which were the big shackles in the rear and the steering extender. And they also, I bought the larger torsion keys, which they did not put in when I got it back from them. And I was there when they did it, and it's a bit of a fiasco. I don't mean to throw those guys under the bus, but I mean, they did bullshit me about a bunch of stuff, and then some of their work, it turned out to be a little shoddy. Just my experience. You may not have the same experience. I hope you don't. I'm not trying to kill their business or anything. But they did install a new rebuilt transfer case, nice and shiny. It was all rebuilt, but it leaked. That cost me $150 out of my own pocket. And when I drove away, the van was pretty dangerous. And that's something they should have picked up on, in my opinion, because I didn't know. I was ignorant. I had the original springs, and they were shot. And when I drove the thing in, I had a heavy, heavy load, and I had airbags on it, and I was very specific about needing those airbags. They didn't put them back on. Didn't really have the time, and that was very dangerous. And I put it back on, put the bags back on, but the ride was pretty horrible. So I had to play with this when I got it back from them, and I ended up putting the new torsion keys in, which helped me get my ride height in the front more correct and more stable. Somehow it stabilized the ride. Keeping in mind, if you watch my last video, I talked about how I already replaced all the suspension parts in the front. Control arm bushings, upper lower ball joints. Just a tip, when you go with that, always use AC Delco parts whenever possible. They're out there, and AC Delco also has an option, so you can buy heavier duty versions. Like when you look at their ball joints, they make an AC Delco ball joint that has a blue boot on it. It's more heavy duty. Splurge. It's your life here we're talking about, right? So splurge a little bit, get the more expensive parts. You'll have a lot less problem down the line. When I read the forums and people are having issues with their distributor cap, distributor, whatever it is, it's because they went the cheap route and they didn't get AC Delco parts. So whenever possible, get the AC Delco. Whenever possible, get the heavy duty version of that part. Anyhow, so I think that if you're going to do a lift on an all-wheel drive Astro van, and I have an 04, I'm going to specifically talk about the 03 to 05 versions, because that's what I have. That's the only thing I can talk to, is you want to swap out those rear springs lickety-split, if they haven't been done already. Get the S10 springs. Mine gave me about a 3.5-inch lift. That was after the 5-inch lift that Journey's put on with just the shackles. Now, if you're a manufacturer, if you make these parts, if you do lift kits, and if you're going to install them, and somebody drives their van in, and they're riding on the stock 3-leaf original springs, you should tell them that they should put the S10 springs in, and you should have S10 springs there. You shouldn't let anybody drive away with those shitty 3-leaf original springs. Period. Period. That should be it. Because if you're going to, let's say you want to just do a mild lift, like a 2 to 3 inch lift. My advice on that is get the S10 springs. It's going to lift your rear end. Get the 2-inch body spacers. Get the larger torsion keys so you're not maxing out your torsion key bolt, the adjustment nut there. Get the thicker torsion keys. Do that swap, and you're going to be golden. If you want to go to the 5-inch or larger, then you also need shackles, you need the steering extender, and all that. So that's my advice to you, you know. Buy the keys, get the bushing kit, get the S10 springs for a 2 to 3 inch lift. And buy the kit and do it yourself. If you're not that mechanically inclined, find a local mechanic near you. Send him the information. Journey's posts are pretty good. They got a page that shows you how to do it. Any mechanic that can read English, certified mechanic, a pretty good guy, and has integrity, be able to do it for you. And it's going to be worth it. And because those guys, I think, you know, they're about volume. They want to make money. They want to get you in, get you out, because they got the next guy. They are swamped with people wanting to do these conversions. The Astro van, all-wheel drive Astro van, is the new VW Westphalia. It's pretty crazy. We've discussed this before in other videos. The numbers are a little nuts on them, and people are falling in love with them because they realize what it is. It's a truck chassis, heavy duty, that you can make four-wheel drive. And I just came back from 4 days out in the mountains of northern Arizona, going through mud and snow and everything, and it was awesome. I loved it. I had a great time. So that's what you want to do. But get the springs, get the leaf springs, get the torsion keys, and then go on with your kit from there. That's just my advice. With my 5-inch lift, and I got a little bit higher in the rear, I suppose, I'm running a 30-inch tire. I'm running stock Chevy 16-inch 6-lug wheels with a 245 R75, excuse me, 245/75 R16 tire. I'm running the Falcon Wild Peaks on there. I got no complaints. Has not affected my gas mileage in any way that I've noticed, and it hasn't lost any power on the highway that I've noticed. And I just did a lot of driving, and I'm cruising at 80-85 miles an hour on average, and no problems at all. And I'd get better gas mileage if I'd slow the hell down. I know. I can't help myself. Lead foot. Look. Lead foot. I'm going to be putting this on the van here pretty soon, too. Can't wait. See how that feels. It's going to make the van a little heavier, but I think it's worth it to be cool. Anyhow, have a good day. Be cool to each other. Don't hesitate to get the kit from those guys in particular or anyone else. I'm just saying, you know, they're not thinking about your safety. They're just thinking about making some money. So you've got to use some common sense and think about what you need for yourself and what makes the most sense. Have a good day. Be good to one another. And let's go. Astro Van Tribe on Instagram. And some stickers and t-shirts will be coming soon. I got the logo kind of worked out, and Astro Van Tribe.